Hey guys, it's March 4th, 2020. I'm Kimberly from Fat Quarter Shop Flosstube, and I'm super excited today. We're kicking off another stitch along, which is going to be super fun. I've loved seeing all the videos on social media, all the pictures, I mean, and we're going to kick it off. I'm going to show a picture of kind of our plan for it. So we're going to pop that image up, which is going to kind of show how we're planning it. So when you see the week, like when it says week 1, March 4th, that means we're starting that day. So week 1 is the border. And then next week, week 2, we'll start the house. So I think some of us have gotten a little confused, and we've really stretched this stitch along out. And the reason why is I want everybody, it's a bigger piece than we have normally done. I think it's the biggest stitch along we've ever done. And I really want everybody to be able to keep up, including myself, especially since it's going through May, which is going to have Mania. And so I'm going to talk a lot about kind of my plans, a little bit about how Lori did hers. I'm going to actually show stitching. I went online and read a lot of your questions, so I'm hopefully going to already know what you guys are going to ask, so I can cover that so that I can kind of clear up anything. So Prim Village is the newest pattern by Lori HOLT. I am privileged enough to be able to publish these for her. So in this chart, you get the large and the small, which are right here. So this is the small, and I actually stitched this one. And this is the large, and Lori stitched it. She stitched hers on oatmeal 25 count Lugana. It's currently sold out. We should have more in a week or two. We have some alternate colors for you. And I stitched this one, and I stitched it also on oatmeal. We both stitched using her Prim Village Our Phil box, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that. This frame was purchased at Hobby Lobby, and this frame is Lori's large square vintage frame, and she painted it with her pitchfork paint and then kind of sanded it down for a vintage look. So as far as fabric, if you haven't bought your fabric and you want something similar, this is Prim, and Prim is very similar to oatmeal. And what I'm stitching on is Overcast, which is gray. So you'll be able to see both options, and you can kind of decide what you want to stitch on. Now, of course, with cross stitch, you can use any fabric you want. You just need to make sure it's big enough. You can use any thread you would like. You can change your colors. You can have fun. So right now, what I'm going to kind of start off with is showing you where I'm at, or actually I'm going to show you where Cheryl's at first. So this is Cheryl. Cheryl works for us on our It's So Emma team, and she started the border, and we kind of just started the border just to kind of show you that when you do a stitch along, you can start a little bit early. You don't have to wait. So this is kind of where she's at, and this is the Prim. So you can see the comparison of the Prim and the oatmeal. So the Prim, you can see, is a little bit lighter, and the oatmeal has a modeling that the Prim does not. And then I'll show you mine, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about mine and some different things. So this is mine. I'm using Overcast, and the reason I got so ahead, this took me about 5.5 hours. The reason I'm so far ahead is I have a big weekend coming up. I'm going to be out of town for 3 days, and I have no idea how much time I'm going to actually get to stitch, because it's one of those dance events where she competes a lot, and so I'm not really sure what I'm going to be able to do. So in order to not get behind, I am stitching ahead. And one of the things that I'm going to be doing is, if I have extra time this week, once I get the border done, I'm going to kind of give you some tips on the house. So I'm going to go ahead and start the house, so next week you can see my tips, but I don't want you to feel behind. And if I have more time, I might do what Lori did. So what Lori did, and when she was here on that live stream, you can go back and look, and she kind of talked about it. But she did the border all at once. She did the chimneys all at once. She did the roof all at once. She did the windows all at once, and then she did all the front of the houses at once, and then all of the back of the houses at once. So if you want to stitch that way on your stitch along instead of the way we're doing it, you can totally do that. One question that we did get is why, when we're doing this stitch along, did we not start in the center? And so the reason for that is we just kind of decided what we wanted to do, and you can definitely start in the center. Of course, you could start your border in the center. We just kind of started it whenever. So when we're doing a stitch along, you don't have to follow us exactly if you don't want to. We would love it if you stitch along with us, but there's no barriers, there's no rules. Do whatever. If you feel more comfortable stitching and starting in the center, then definitely start in the center. So let me know if you guys have any questions before I move on and start stitching.
We don't have any questions yet, but we do have a comment from Thread Needle. She says, "Hi Kimberly and Lily, I'm just waiting for my pattern to arrive, but I have my fabric and threads all ready. This design has me so excited, and it's my first FQS stitch along."
Yay! And it's really fun. I have actually never stitched a piece and done all of the border at once. I've never done that. And I'm super excited because it's kind of like, I was thinking it's kind of like paint by numbers almost, because you're like making your holes and then you can fill in your holes. So it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of satisfying that you're like, you can actually see the sections. And I like that we're spreading it out over June so that if I have time to get ahead, I can, because a lot of the stitch alongs in the past, I never had a chance to catch up. So that's really nice. So, again, another thing that I forgot to mention is in your pattern, you get a little charm. It's right here on my finger. And I attached it to my little bag. And so this little charm comes with the pattern. And the only way to get the charm is with the pattern. And I just saw it, so I thought I'd show you. So I've been keeping everything in my Bloom-Topia bag because it's a bigger bag. And I keep my AuriFloss, my pattern, and my piece. I'll show you how I put my piece in here. When I'm not using it, I put my fabrics where my right sides together, I guess, and just fold it, and then I just roll it up. I kind of roll it and put it in here and just dump it in here, and that's how I've been stitching it. So I'm going to move to where I'm going to stitch, and then we're going to talk a lot about some of the questions that I've gotten.
Okay. We do have a few questions.
Oh yes, sorry.
R. White says, "I'd like to know what Kimberly uses to hold her chart when stitching. I'm usually chasing mine around trying to follow along."
In my lap. And I usually have like a little lap desk. I usually stitch in my bed or on one of my couches, and I have a little cheap, I mean, it's like the most obnoxious looking lap desk. I wish I had a pretty one. It's like hot pink from Michael's. It's like $10, but like a little lap desk, and I just keep my pattern on that.
All right. And Ronnie Hunt was asking, are the borders an X or a back stitch?
They're cross stitch, and so I'm gonna show you some of the stitching so you'll be able to see it. So I'm gonna kind of move my chair and get all set up. This shoulder or this shoulder?
Over your left, so you keep going a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to be using this light. It's a daylight Halo Go light. It has 3 levels of lights. Well, 2 levels. It's rechargeable, and this is what I use. It's got a really bright light, and it's got a magnifier. And without the magnifier, I cannot stitch. So I usually have my chart, down. I use the Pat's Favorite Needles, size 26. And they're really, when I first bought them for the store, I thought, well, nobody's going to buy these. These are super expensive. Well, these are the best selling things I've ever seen. So the way they come is when you open them, it's like the little wrapper that you would get in gum. And when you open it, all your needles are in here. So it actually, there's 25, I think. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 25 needles, and I use size 26. So these are the needles I use. That was one of your questions. So what I do, so just get my fabric ready. I usually keep my needle down here in the corner so that when I open it, I kind of know where it is. And on my thread box, the way that I've been doing my thread is just keeping it in here. And when I have some taken off, you can either wrap it back on the spool, but since I'm doing just the border, I know exactly what color it is. So while I'm using that color, I'm just gonna kind of leave it open in the box. And then when I'm done with the color, I'll wrap it back on the spool. So with Our Phil, one of the questions I got was, what's the difference between Our Phil and DMC? So Our Phil does not have variegation. It's 100% cotton, and it's basically an embroidery floss, and the difference is it's just a different company and it's just made differently. I think AuriFloss is slightly thinner than DMC, and by slightly I mean really slightly, and it is drier is the way I would describe it. So I feel like it doesn't tangle as much, and I just really like it. But you know, honestly, I love all the thread. So to pull the thread off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use one strand. So I'm going to just pull that out, and I'm just going to pull this off. And then I will kind of loop this around my fingers and put it back in my box so I don't lose it. And I just kind of throw it in there. So when you're stitching with Lugana, you're going to stitch with 2 threads over 2 squares. And you're going to say, oh, well, why do you only have 1 thread out? So I'm going to do the loop method. So with the loop method, you take your 2 ends and join them. You thread your needle. When I thread my needle, this is how I thread. I don't lick. So this is how I thread. That's how I thread my needle. And I'm going to start. Now, I probably should have kind of started before because I've got to figure out where I'm going to start. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to start right here. So the way that I stitch, and I keep this either in my lap, even in my car, I've got a place in my car. So what I do, does this work, Lily?
Yeah, give me one sec to grab
You need to be here.
Oh, gotcha. Oh.
Like on the magnifier. I think she can see my glass. Does that work? No.
No, just the angle we're just not seeing like from your angle.
So what I do is I'm going to pull this, and you see the little loop? Put my needle through the loop and just pull it. And I like this to be not too tight. I'm just going to make sure I'm starting in the right spot, then I'll put my chart away just to make sure I'm kind of going the right place. Okay. So I'm going to stitch, and then Lily, you tell me where to be. But this is actually put this in the wrong spot, so I got to start over.
Hang on, give me one sec.
I have to start over anyway because I put it in the wrong hole. Okay, where do I go? Can you see that?
No. Oh, almost.
No. Okay, so we're gonna why don't you just do this, and I'll just use this and you'll use this.
That sounds good.
Okay, sorry. So I actually have to use this. So when I stitch with Lugana, you're gonna stitch over 2. And so from there, I'm gonna railroad, which means put my needle through the thread, go back in the hole, and I usually do each at a time instead of traveling. I usually do just 1 stitch at a time. And one of the main concerns that people had about Lugana is it bunching up or getting, your stitches too tight. So when I'm working with Lugana, I just do 1 stitch at a time, if that makes sense. So instead of For example, like trying to do this number at one time, I just do one stitch at a time, and I just try not to be too tight with my stitches. And on my top stitch, I railroad. And that is how my stitches come out so pretty. And if I don't like something, I'm not afraid to unpick it. And so I just kind of keep going. And this is how I hold my fabric, just in my hand. Now, if I was gonna, I would probably normally have this right side. I would use a Wonder Clip and get it out of my way. So let me know what you guys think. If you have any questions, I'm going over 2 squares, nice and slow. I tried to answer like everything that I thought you guys would ask, so there might not be many questions.
Yeah, let's see. We have a question from Bridget Jarvis. She says, railroading takes so much more time, and does it really make a difference, and why?
It does make a difference. If you don't railroad, you will see that your stitches are kind of sloppy on the front. It's really up to your personality. Like I said, there's really no rules. I am super OCD. So I like my things to be perfect no matter what it is in life. I like my car to be clean. I like my bathroom to be clean. It's just, you know, if you don't care, if your stitches are not 100% perfect, then don't railroad. It does take more time. It's just personally how I do it. And what it does, when you're railroading, it just makes, it splits your threads evenly. So when you go back in that hole, your stitches are not sloppy. So really, I mean, you don't have to do it. You can do whatever you want to do. I just like to do it.
All right, and then next question we had here, Wilma Evans says, is Kimberly actually skipping one hole and going on to the next?
Yes.
Okay. And we can show this later, but Candy Kerr had been saying she's loving the bowl of farm vintage pillows.
Yeah, we're going to do that next.
Jazz262 says, how do you use the Wonder Clips for excess fabric? Do you roll or fold?
I'll roll, and I will show you. I'll do a couple more stitches, answer questions, and then I'll show you, because I've got my Wonder Clips right here.
And Vicky Reilberger says, if I use Ada for this pattern, what size should I use?
On the back of the pattern, which is the pattern. So let's see, the back of the pattern says if you're doing 14 count and you're doing the large, you would need, it would be 10 by 10.5. So probably a fat quarter.
Oh, and let's see, Linda Lemon was asking, will the 10 count vintage cloth be available in more colors such as gray or chalkboard black?
Yes. I don't have a date on that, but more is coming. Okay, so now what I will do with this light, you want to make sure you close the lid, because if you leave it and the sun hits it, it could burn what's here. So I'm going to put this away. It is compact, and this is how I put it in my bag, like this. So I'll put that away now, and I will show you how, if I was stitching and I wanted to get everything out of the way, I would roll it. And then I would put this little Wonder Clip in, and I would put it where there's no stitches, and I can tell there's no stitches here. And then when I'm stitching, everything is just out of my way, and so it can go faster. Now, of course, without my light, I mean, really can't see to do it, but I'll do like one stitch, but you can see that I don't have to pull my hand all the way to the other side. So, and then here, I'll probably just leave my needle loose, which is not the best. I usually finish off before I keep going so that the needle doesn't go loose, and I'll just kind of put everything in my bag just like this. Yay! So I'm going to move my chair back. Oops, this is so awkward. And then I'm going to show you some different things that some of our bloggers are stitching, and then some of the shout outs that you guys are doing, and then answer more questions. So the first one is Priscilla from the Real Housewives of Cross Stitch. This is her piece, and so
Prim Village.
okay, so we're gonna keep going. Lily, any questions?
Yeah, let's see. From Marsha McGuire, she says, for stitch size, if a pattern calls for 32 count, you can use 16 count as well as 28 count is the same as 14 count?
Correct.
Okay.
So if it's Ada, you would take it and divide it by 2. So if it's 36 count, it's 18. If it's 28 count, it's 14.
All right. And from Mary Pat McNamara, she says, oh no, I started my border but didn't go over every 2. I did every hole. Should I pull it out and start over?
It depends on if you're using Ada or linen or Lugana. If you're using Ada, you just leave it. You would be able to tell if you were just going over one because your stitches would be super tight. So let's do the Prim Village images now. So we have got, that is Priscilla. She's starting this week, and she's going to use the AuriFloss, and that is a crocheted granny square blanket that looks so cute, and that's her dog Ronnie. So super cute. And then we've got the Hot Mess Princess. Her name is Diane, and she is also stitching along. And so she's showing your fabric. She's leaning towards the gray, so she's not sure which one she's going to use. And then we've got Jamie and Jordan of Basic Stitches. So this is Basic Stitches. This is the mom. And so she's going to be storing hers in her little new Gingham on the Go bag. And it looks like, oh my gosh, she's super brave. She did the entire outside without going the rows inside, which would be like almost impossible for me because I don't trust my stitches. I'm so nervous that I'm going to like do it wrong. So super cute. And then Jordan is her daughter, and she did the same thing. So they're super brave because I would be so scared to do that. And then we've got Julie from Kansas City Girl in a Colorado World. Ooh, I said it. So see, she's like me. She's doing each square at a time, which is super super fun. And then I'm going to show some images of some of the stuff that you guys are going to be doing. This is Katrina Erickson, and so she's starting at the top. Super awesome, and it's her first time stitching on 25 count. And then Lee, Joe, and Stitch. So she's going to do the Overcast, which is super exciting. And if you guys didn't know, you guys voted 2 weeks ago if I was going to use the Prim or the Overcast, and Overcast won, so that's exciting. And then Connie Dunn, oh my gosh, see, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do all the squares, and then I'm going to start the chimneys. She's ready to go. She got a head start. And then this is Maxine Sasaki, and so she is using, she wants to go with a barn color vibe, and so she is using some Classic Colorworks, which is what I was talking about. You can use any thread you would like, and any fabric you like, so that's going to be super cute too. And then Lizzie Girl Quills, she's got all of her thread. She's using 14 count ivory and DMC, and she's all bobbinated and ready to go.
Bobbinated.
Yeah, and then So Peaceful. So she has got her cross stitch journal. She's got her pattern. She got a flash sale, and she's got her thread, and she's ready to go. And we've got the red thimble. And so I think she's laying out the thread she's going to use. Super cute, and how the barns are going to look. And there we go. So let me know if you guys have any questions, and then from there we're going to move on and show you something else super exciting.
Yes. All right. First of all, people were asking if they could see the back of what you were stitching right now.
Yeah, sorry, we have to go grab it.
All right. While we grab that, K-Rob was asking, project bags, the new tulip pink ones, are they around for a while, or are they, once they are sold out, they're gone, like how fabric only gets one run?
Yeah, one run.
All right.
Okay, so here is the back, and we can zoom in. Tiny stitches.
Looks like the front.
Denise said it looks like the front. I don't know if my front looked like this. People would be like, what is that? It's a mess. Yeah. And on the Our Phil, this is going to sound weird, but the way that I, determine how much to cut off is I take twice the length of right here to right here. And it's not very long. It's much shorter than some people use. And so I tend to go with a shorter thread because I'll get less knots. But I honestly have been doing really good with the AuriFloss. With DMC, I seem to get tangled up, but I think I might cut my DMC threads too long.
Christy Cleary was asking, is there a difference between Lugana and Monaco?
So they're both even weave. They are made from different companies. So the Lugana is made by Zweigart. Monaco is made by DMC. They're both even weave. And so, different companies, very similar, different colors.
I want to say it's a different blend.
It might be a different blend.
Monaco is 100% cotton, I think.
Yeah, Monaco's 100% cotton. And then, I'm not sure what the other one is.
Lugana's like...
Lugana's a mix. I
mix
don't
of
know off the
rayon and
top.
cotton.
Off of top of my head, but very, the same principle, meaning like the same kind of thing, but different. It's kind of like when y'all ask what's the difference between like DMC and AuriFloss. It's like the same but different because it's different companies. If that makes any sense.
And then Janet Lopez, on the subject of Monaco and Lugana, she says, I never tried Monaco. Is it as easy to see the holes as it is for Lugana?
I've never used it, but that is all that Priscilla and Chelsea from the Real Housewives of Cross Stitch use. So, and they don't use any kind of magnification. So it must be.
R. White was asking, is Fat Quarter Shop going to Nashville Market?
Yes, we're going to talk about it at the end.
Ooh. Melanie Call says, how are the colors different for Lorries Overcast Lugana compared to Pewter Lugana?
It's very similar.
And then, Mary Pat was clarifying. She said, I bought the 25 count Lugana oatmeal and I didn't go over every two. So should I start over?
It's up to you. If you like the look of it and the texture, keep it. If not, I would pull it out. It might get a little tight over time because you're using a lot of thread over one square.
All right. And Jean Ryzewski says, could you tell us how much to leave around the edge, since it looks like you didn't leave, how many inches you left around the edge?
I left like 2 inches. Exactly 2 inches. And then when can I see it? Sorry. So what I did is we have a new tool that I can't show you yet, but with that tool I measured exactly 2 inches here and 2 inches here, and then I stitched all the way here and stitched down. Then I went home, got my Creative Grids ruler, cut 2 inches away all the way down, and then when I get to the bottom, then I'll cut the bottom down. Now I did a little edge zigzag stitch around the edge, but I'll just redo it when I get to the bottom. So 2 inches is what I use, and I think that's enough to use this frame. So Lori came out with Prim Village last week, and then this week she came out with Stitch Cards Set D. So I'm going to show you Set D real quick, one by one. This is her DMC thread pack, so these are the colors that she's going with. And I'm going to show them to you in my lap. So we've got Bright Zinnia. And these are all with her stitch cards. The border that goes around the edge will change within her stitch cards, but they're interchangeable, meaning that from the edge to the edge, they're all 24 by 24 squares. And so that we can do lots of. So this is it stitched up on Overcast 25 count Lugana that I was just stitching on. Super pretty, and that is the thread that is in the DMC thread pack. So that's the first one. The second one is Busy Beehive, and they're all numbered. So this is number 14. So if you collect them, then you will just have all of them. So this is Busy Beehive, and big thank you to Shelby for stitching these. Super cute. So there's her beehive. And then we've got the bee, the honeybee, so that he can live in the honey beehive. Look how cute he is. Or she. It's so cute. She's gonna sting me. And then we've got Tending the Garden. Super cute. And there we go. Super cute. So those came out this week. So to celebrate, obviously we have the DMC, but oh my gosh, Lori did this little beautiful bowl of stitches. So I'm going to talk about kind of what she did while Lily zooms in. So she stitched all 16 of her stitch cards and then 8 more from Happy Farm Girl and Farm Girl Fall. So she has a total of 24 pillows. So she's calling them Bee in My Bonnet stitch pillows. She stitched on all different fabrics. So some are leftovers from pieces from previous projects. Some are, from her stash. She usually trims 3/4 inches past the outer border to sew them into a pillow. She cut the back of fabric, stuffed it with wool stuffing. So here's the back of one of them. It's denser than polyfill and it's all natural. So she basically stitched all the way. She put the fabrics right sides together, stitched all the way around the edge, didn't leave an opening. Then she cut the back underneath this pretty wool that you can't see. She put the wool on top. It's glued down to cover her seam, which is whip stitch down there, and then she put a cute little safety pin with some of her cute little buttons. And so she keeps this to decorate around her house, and then you can switch it out. If it's seasonal, you could do just Christmas ones. You could use a clothespin and hang it on a Christmas tree like that. So she mixes and matches, and I'm going to pull all of these out and show them to you one by one. And I'm going to try to tell you which set they're from. So, okay, this is from Farm Girl Fall. So can you zoom in so we can see like all the way the detail? So I'm going to show you the front and the back. So this is the front and this is the back. It's so cute. Okay, the next one is from Stitch Card Set A. It's Cheerful Tulips. So cute. So this is a Bee Basics fabric. If you're a quilter, you'll know what that is. This is Corn and Tomatoes from Stitch Card B. And so you can see how much smaller this one is than, say, this one. See how different they look? And this one is Flower Basket from Set A. Look how cute they are. And so these are her wool pieces, and we sell those in a layer cake. And so she just cut them into little, and so underneath here are whip stitches. And then we've got this Mr. Scarecrow from Stitch Card B. And let's see, we've got Tending the Garden from D. And so you can see when she did this, she used all the called for DMC, but she changed all of the fabric on front, and so that's how her bowl is so pretty, because there's so much variety. And then we've got from Stitch Card D, Busy Beehive, and then the bee that we just showed you. My fingers are in the way. It should be a robot. Cute. Super cute. This is from her Farm Girl fabric right here. This is Spring Blossom from Stitch Card A. And Hot Chocolate from Stitch Card C.
That was my favorite.
Which one?
The hot chocolate.
I should throw it.
You should throw it?
I should throw it. You could drink it.
Oh.
I needed hot chocolate today. And then this one is from Stitch Card C. It's Warm Hat. And this is Stitch Card C, Ice Skate. And these, just so you know, we're going to come out with these every quarter. So March 1st was this week. And then we've got this is the very first stitch cards, number 1 on A. And this is Mr. Snowman, or just Snowman, stitch card C. So cute. I want this to go to my house. And then this is Evening Star from stitch card B. It's tiny. Look at it compared to my hand. It's so tiny. And then this one's also tiny. This is the Daddy's Tractor from stitch card B. This is, these are little canning jars, and this is from her Happy Farm Girl.
Oh.
Yeah, and she put different, you can see that she put different borders on all of them too. And this is also from Happy Farm Girl, and you can see that she put the border, so she put the border from stitch card A here, and then she did part of the border from Farm Girl Fall on this one, even though she used the Happy Farm Girl pattern. So she's just mixing and matching all of her patterns, all of her borders, all of her fabrics. And that's how you get scrappy. This is Bright Zinnia from stitch card D. And this is from Happy Farm Girl. You could also use Vintage Christmas. She's gonna do those also. This is, let's see, this one is from Happy Farm Girl. This is also from Happy Farm Girl. It's so cute. And then we have Farm Girl Fall and Farm Girl Fall. Super fun. So we're going to put all of these little bowls, all of these little pillows back in the bowl so we can put them on our set and make them cute again. Let me know if you have any questions. Again, she stitched 3/4 inch away from the edge.
And can you remind us what cloth Lori stitched these on?
She stitched them from a variety of the cloth she sells, which is the 25 count. She used a lot of she used some 10 count. She also used some from her stash. So when I cut, for example, the edge that I was talking about with the Prim Village, and I have that little sliver, if you keep that sliver, you can use that. So she mostly used scraps of fabric for the front and the back, so just random, and none of them are the same. I mean, a couple are the same, but basically all of them are different sizes, and that's how you get that vintage, like, decorative look that she does where it's all different. It's not so matchy-matchy. And that's one of the things that when I first met Lori, I was so matchy-matchy. I just was matchy-matchy about everything, and she was just like, why do you have to be so matchy? I mean, that's not what she said, but that's how she gets her look. And I learned that over time is just by not doing matchy-matchy, you get this beautiful look that you can't even like predict, if that makes sense.
And Cheryl Crawford-Ski was asking, where do you get the wool stuffing?
We can try to get some. I don't know. She probably got it at Hobby Lobby. I really don't know. But we can look into that.
And then cute comment from Stitching with the Sisterlies. They're like, and they're small, so I could have weekly finishes. LOL.
Yes. You could do, this could be your mania. Because there are 16 plus 4, 20, 28, 29, 31, 34. There's 36 total. So you could do this for mania and finish one a day. Oh. And her bowl, I know you guys are going to ask where she got her bowl. Mm-hmm. It's from a vintage antique store. It's probably super expensive, and it is vintage. It is absolutely vintage.
Jazz262 says, those are so cute. Will you make a tutorial on making them into pillows?
Sure. And her goal is to stitch all of them in her upcoming stitch cards and all of her designs, and then she's just going to keep them going. Like, she's going to keep, every time she has a stitch card, she's going to do this. The only ones she hasn't done so far are the Vintage Christmas.
All right. And I think we have a tutorial that gives you something similar, except they were ornaments.
Yeah, but I have, I actually have these stitched up, ready to go to show you this tutorial. Ooh. So, I'm actually already ready to do that. I just have to do it. And I have a lot going on right now, so we'll get it filmed in a couple weeks. I'm going to go on vacation, so not sure I can do it before vacation.
Lori Holt says, I have only been able to find 100% wool stuffing on Amazon.
There you go, Amazon.
Right.
And we can just find it. We'll get the link from her and put it on there.
And from Candy Kerr, question, if I want to make my stitch cards larger, could I still use 14 with 3 threads over 2? I've done the tulips. It's really tiny on 14 count.
On 14 count, I would use 2 strands. I think 3 strands would be bulky. If you want your pillows super big, you could do 10 count. Which are these right here? Look, we're going to zoom in on these. Denise did these.
Shelby made it.
Shelby stitched them, but Denise finished them. So this one is from Stitch Card B. And these we used, of course, Lorries fabric. And then, like on the back, this is what it looks like. So if you're looking for it, Hobby Lobby. So there's one of them. And here's the other. And again, it's like a little set. And this is how big they would be. So this is how they would be on 10 count. This would probably be 40 count. And I don't recommend 40 count. Lori's crazy when she does it. This is her 25 count. So you can kind of see like the difference. I'm not sure I see any Ada in here. But she just used, yeah, oh my word. I can't even. Like I would probably go blind doing that. Yep, so just all scrappy, all fun. She did use the called for DMC on all of them. So guys, we are working on Bloom-Topia, and this is my Bloom-Topia that Priscilla finished for me. I stitched it on Overcast 25 count, and this is what came out on Sunday, these 2 blocks right here. So the little basket and the little quilt block, and it is a free stitch along. This is how your pattern looks each time you download it. So it'll say, as each section downloads, you can see the previous step along with the current one. And so the next part will come out in April. We are stitching along, and this is a completely free pattern. We are stitching to raise money for Make-A-Wish. We are asking that if you stitch the pattern or download it to use in the future, that you would donate to Make-A-Wish. We are at $39,737. So we are like really gonna get to 50,000. So that is so amazing, and I can do it without the help of like all of you guys. Like it takes a village. Like I could easily just go around saying, oh, I raised all this money, but it's you guys that did it for me. I didn't do anything. So so awesome. And I want to show you some of what other people are doing with their stitch along, so you can see like different ideas if you haven't started, to get ideas for your fabric. So this is Priscilla's, and that is her cat Calvin, and that is,
It's like a check.
I can't remember what it, barnyard check or something. We sell it, but it is a linen, I think. It's super cute. And she is using Classic Colorworks, and she will be at the end of the stitch along. She's going to come here, and she's going to show you how to frame it. So if you are stitching along and want to know how to finish it, she's going to show you how to finish it, and then she's going to auction that off to raise money for Make-A-Wish. So I might buy it. And then the next person, let's see, the next one is Java Girl Stitches. That is Christy, and that's her cute little doggy. And she is using Classic Colorworks and Weeks Dye Works. And I think she's also using the 25 count pewter. And then we've got Cheryl McKinney from Tranquil Stitches. And I'm not sure which thread she's using, but I know she's talked about it on her YouTube, and her YouTube is Tranquil Stitches. And then we have Stitching in the Barn, Valerie. That is so cute, and she's got those little vintage spools. Super cute. I think she's using like a dyed fabric. And then we've got Sarah Hughes from Stitching Mommy, and I think hers is super cute. I really like how hers is really looking very spring, because I've been watching it on her channel, which is Stitching Mommy. And then we've got Jan Hicks from Jan Hicks Creates, and she uses one of those scrolls to stitch on, and she's got some beginner videos if you're interested in that. And then we've got Denise from Goose Designs, and she is also doing the quilting part. And so that's how we're able to raise money, because we're trying to raise money from our quilters and our cross stitchers. And so that is her quilting on the left, stitching on the right. Super fun. And then we've got some customers. So this is Kim Moran, and she's using a Q-snap, and she's changing her colors. And I love that when you guys are changing your colors, you're showing what you're doing, so that if somebody wants to be inspired by you, and then they can look and see. And then more people will stitch and more people will donate. So we've got So Love Crafting, and I love her little gingham on the go bag and her little llama needle minder. And she's also using one of those frames. Super cute. And then we've got Candace EK31, and she's got her needle minder. We're now sold out of those needle minders. So hers is super cute. And Weekend Stitcher, super cute. She's doing more of a vintage vibe. And then we've got Sip and Stitch, and super cute. That's super cute. I think she's using the colors we picked. And then Crystal Baird, that looks like Ada. And then Cheryl Vocal, yes. So that is what, that is the part 2 of Bloom-Topia, and so she put it on her gingham on the go bag. It's amazing how she centered it, and then she added a border. It's so cute. And she used, okay, so that bag is a smaller version of our gingham on the go bags. That color and that size only came in our Sew Sampler box. So those are now gone, but the 3 bigger sizes are available for sale. And then we've got Canday Kerr, super cute. And Kim Dyball, and the Stay-at-Home Quilter, super cute. She's also working on Ada. And Michelle Martin. Okay, I love this. Okay, so what she did is when you buy the color card or the color thread pack, it comes like this. And what she did is she just used a paper, what do you call that, hole punch. And then when she's got leftovers, she puts it on there. That is like, I was like, oh my goodness, why didn't I think about that? So I think that's amazing. And so you could do that with any of our thread packs that you get. Yay! So let me know if you guys have any questions on Bloom-Topia, and a big thank you from everyone at Fat Quarter Shop, including Kevin and I. It's amazing. I do check that number all the time because I am so excited about all the difference that we can make in someone's life.
Mm-hmm. All right. First of all, I have a question for Java Girl Stitches. Okay. What is your puppy's name?
Okay, I should know. It's I don't know. I can't remember right now, but I did know. Oops.
All right, and we have a question and a comment from Sewing Becca. First of all, she says, commend whoever picked colors for Bloom-Topia. They are perfect.
Thank you. We picked those several times. Basically, we used the fabric that Sherry and Chelsea designed. It is called Summer Sweet, and we basically took the fabric, took the DMC color card, tried to match as close as possible so that if you were stitching the quilt and the cross stitch, that it would be very matchy-matchy.
And then her question was, there are 2 section 5s. Are we really going to get 2 releases with number 5?
Yes.
Yes, you are.
So we have some new things to add. If you have signed up for Stitch Quarterly, here it is. It is so amazing. I'm going to give you a little peek of what you're going to get. This is what you get to see. I'll show you this. And this is your peek. Ooh. It's so cute. So this is shipping today. If you signed up for Stitch Quarterly, and your credit card processed, it's shipping today. If your credit card declined, it's not shipping today. I just have to say that because sometimes y'all call customer service. So this is going today. I think you guys are going to love it. Now, if you sign up today for this club, which is called Stitch Quarterly, you're going to get June, which is next one. If you really want one of the Marches, you have to put a note and you have to put it in bold and say, I want the March shipment. If you don't, you're going to be signed up for next time's. So if you're wanting this, and if you see it on social media, and if we have any leftovers, I'm not sure we will. If we do, that will be online in like 10 days. The pattern that is in here is going to be for sale on our site, but not for 45 days. And there's a notion in here that nobody else has. It's not going to be on our site yet. So you guys are going to get the notion first. It's super awesome, and I am so excited. And actually, the notion is going online today. So if you don't want to see what's in here, don't look on our What's New page. So that's super exciting. And then last week, one of you lovely listeners said, could you do a club similar to Floss Fix and Weeks Dye Works? So Floss Fix is Classic Color Works Club. It is now closed until we can get more spots. And it's harder to get spots and add spots because, you know, there's somebody that has to dye all of this thread and get the thread from DMC, etc. So this is our Weeks Dye Works. This is what you would get in your first shipment. The club starts in May. The first theme is Silky White. So it's going to be exactly the same as Floss Fix. So it's Floss Frenzy, different company, Weeks Dye Works. You get 6 skeins. Every skein has 5 yards. The Weeks Dye Works is color fast. It is not pre-cut, so it all comes in one big long piece, and you cut it when you get it. And it ships on the 30th of the month. So it's going to ship at a different time of the month. So you can't combine the two clubs just because they're going to ship on different days. And we're going to keep the same color family. So if you're in Floss Fix and you're going to get a pink at the beginning of the month, you would get a pink at the end of the month. And so what we're trying to do is help you build your stash by color. And then let me know, those are our two brand new clubs. And let me know if y'all have any questions. It's going to come packaged like this. Yay! So let me know if you guys have any questions on any of the new stuff that we had today. And thank you for the customer who had that suggestion. And thank you to Cheryl, Cody, Denise, who picked all the thread.
While we wait for questions, Java Girl said her puppy's name is Mitzi.
Mitzi.
Oh, Mitzi.
Okay, so I used to work at Showbiz Pizza in high school, and the little girl, okay, you know, like Showbiz, it became later Chuck E. Cheese. So Showbiz was, they would have the big animals, and they would sing their Muppets, or I don't know, what are those things called? And there was a Mitzi, and she was always, and it drove me crazy. I used to have to go to work and listen to all that noise. That's maybe why I'm an introvert now, because all those loud kids. But it was Mitzi, the pom-pom girl.
That's funny. And then we had a funny comment from Stitching with the Sisterly. She's got all the great comments today. She said, "Okay, I'm back. You are expensive to watch." LOL.
No, I know, but y'all are funny to watch. I was watching y'all the other day, and y'all were cracking me up. I haven't figured. Yeah, you're sisters because it's sisterlies, but y'all are cracking me up.
Aww.
So, okay, so I have been working on some stuff. This is what I was talking about, our Gingham on the Go bag. So, I am working on the Little House Spring pattern. This is going to be my Parade of Homes for March. So, it comes with this thread. I don't know the name of it, but I wanted to do this thread. So, I switched to Cool Mint. So here is my pattern, and I'll show you what I've stitched so far. I have stitched 8.75 hours. I'm not OCD or anything, right? So, and I'm stitching 1 stitch at a time to get the variegation. Can you zoom way in?
Yes.
And so this is Belle Soie silk. There we go. And so you can really see the variegation. And so it is 1 stitch at a time. Yeah, that looks good. So you can see my stitches. And see, I railroaded all those stitches. So yeah, it did take me a long time. So my goal is to be done with this in a week or 2, so that I can be done with my Parade of Homes a little bit earlier in the month. So I'm gonna, and so when I put it back in I just roll it. I kind of put it in halves and then roll it, and then I just put it in my bag. Where's my pattern? Okay. Thanks. And the best thing about these bags is they sit up. So when I'm sitting in bed stitching, you can leave it sitting up. And when you leave it sitting up, you can just grab your stuff out of it. So that is one thing I worked on. The other thing I worked on is my Snow Village by Country Cottage Needleworks. This is part 5. Right there, go up. Right there.
Oh.
Right there. So the red house is what I stitched this week. And so I'm using this 18 count petite point on gray. I'm not sure I'm ever going to stitch on 18 count again. It is so small and it's really hard for me to do and it frustrates me. So that's my learning experience. Maybe I shouldn't experiment with hard fabric on something that is going to take this long. I'm really enjoying doing it though. I'm using DMC. I changed my colors and I have a little thread pack that has my colors in it. And I'm not doing any of my backstitch until I'm done. I'm going to do all the backstitch at one time. And I love how this right there, that dot was right in the, like the fabric dot is right in the middle of my snowflakes. I was so excited when that happened. So that is my Snow Village. And the previous Snow Village, no, the next Snow Village is Popsicle Hearts. Popsicle Cart. Lily.
Oh.
Sorry.
Okay.
There we go. She is, I'm not sure what she's stitching on.
32 count country French linen.
32 count country French linen.
If you're in the club, that's the fabric.
Okay, so if you were in our club that is now closed, that is the fabric you're getting. So she's stitching hers individually. I'm stitching mine in a group. Another thing we worked on is Peep by Priscilla and Chelsea of the Real Housewives of Cross Stitch. Cheryl stitched this. She used the called for colors and she stitched on 16 count chalkboard black and she used the Classic Colorworks. And then this is a pattern called St. Patrick Bird by Heart and Hand. And Cheryl stitched this one. Can you zoom out a little bit?
Yeah.
So she stitched it on 32 count historic beige. Sorry guys, it's really hard for me to like figure out because when this way, okay, sorry. So this is her little bird. I think it's so cute how the little thread goes down. And so she stitched on 28 count antique white Lugana. And then this is a PDF pattern that we sell. It's called Lucky. It's a PDF pattern by Cherry Hill Stitchery. She stitched this on 28 count antique white Lugana using the called for colors, and Cheryl stitched this, so y'all can see that Cheryl has been busy. And then she got this from Hobby Lobby, and this is how this is her idea of finishing. She's going to finish it on this.
Ooh.
So we will bring it back in when she finishes it. The number is 5110-473 if you want to finish it on that. And then also this week, Shelby stitched our brand new free pattern.
Oh.
So this is our brand new free pattern. It's called Lucky Charm. You can download the free pattern on our site. And we also have this thread pack. And you can see the metallic thread is the center of the horseshoe. Super cute. So that is all the stuff we have been working on. And then now we have some frame finishes. But let me know if you guys have any questions before I show you all the other stuff. But we have a ton of finishes this week. I'm so excited to show you all the things.
All right. From Home Mom, for the Cross Stitch Quarterly, what count is the fabric?
It's going to be different every time, and it's always going to be a surprise. And it's going to be beginner friendly.
right.
So I can't tell you what, I can't tell you because it's a surprise.
Tracy J says, what type of glue did Lori use for the wool on the back of the pillows? Do you know?
She's in the chat, so she can answer. I'm not sure. But basically, I'll do a video on it, and basically, I'll just do exactly what she did.
Oh, Lori said she did not use glue. She used fusible webbing, or you could use heat and bond.
Okay.
And then we had a comment from Natalia K. She said, my post lady knows I quilt and cross stitch with the packages I receive from Fat Quarter Shop. She's a quilter too.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's hilarious.
So our very first frame finish.
It's upside down.
I'm sorry, guys. Today, my hands are just not working right today. This is, what's it called? 4th of July. And it is by Tiny Modernist. And Priscilla of the Real Housewives of Cross Stitch finished this for me. And it looks so good. So she used like a blue gingham on the back and a red dot on the front. And she made this bow. And she got this piece at Hobby Lobby. And I'll show you the back. So this is the back. So it's like, you know, something was on the front. This is how it looks in the store. But then she made it into this. It looks so good. I'm so excited to take it home. And I used, when I stitched this, I used the called for DMC. And then this one is, I'm so excited. This is Easter Wreath by Tiny Modernist, another Tiny Modernist. And oh my goodness, look at the bunny. Can you zoom out? Yay. Okay, so look at that bunny. He's so cute. I love it. Okay, so she did some ruffles. So Lily, can you zoom into like right here? She did these ruffles, and she we have a video on how she does these ruffles, and she did a circle finish. So she used like a aqua gingham to do the circle. Oh, it's so cute. And then the back, look how pretty the back is. She used a dot, essential dot from Moda. Super cute. And on this one, I used called for DMC. And this little bunny's going to go in my house today. And I cannot wait for my kids to, like, they're not even going to know there's cross stitch there. I guarantee they're just going to be like, oh, that bunny's cute. And I'm going to be like, oh, I made it. And they're going to be like, what? And I'm going to be like, look closer. Sorry, I have to be a smart aleck sometimes. I'm a little funny sometimes. Okay, so this is 2020 Collector's Heart by Heart and Hand. And I loved this pattern when it came in. And I used wheat 28 count Lugana. And Priscilla finished this for me also. And this is one of the pieces that you can find. If you see this sticker, you'll know there's a section in Hobby Lobby that has all of these, and she painted it with Lori's paint. Isn't it so pretty? I'm gonna be like, look, I'm gonna be like this at my house. I'm gonna be the confused. I'm gonna be like, it's Easter, it's Valentine's Day, it's summer. And then this is a free pattern by Heart and Hand called Always. To get the free pattern, you get on her newsletter list, and that's how you get it. And it's so cute. So she used the Lori Holt lace twice. In here, and in here.
Ooh.
See, it's so cute. And this is a frame also from, it's just like a picture frame from Hobby Lobby.
Yeah.
And then this is Blossom House. This is a little stitch girl. This was my Parade of Homes for January. So this is the pattern, and I used the 10 count by Lori Holt for the fabric. I used the called for DMC. I did make some changes, and this is going to be on Priscilla's blog, and on her blog she's going to actually list what the changes that I made on my floss. And so this is how the front looks, and this is the back. And so this one came already framed, and so the cool thing about this one is it already sits up, so I don't have to put it on an easel. So big thank you to Priscilla. And if you haven't watched her and Chelsea, their Flosstube is the Real Housewives of Cross Stitch. So let me know if you guys have any questions on any of that before I go on.
Question from Jamie M. She says, any tips on how to keep the metallic thread together and not have the white strand it's twined around exposed?
Tell me again.
For the metallic thread, how do you keep it from unwinding from the white that it's wound on, from it getting exposed?
I don't really know. There's not a good tip. And when you're working with metallic thread, I would just start with a really short, like this short, like 12 inches, like super short, so that because it's going to fray every time you stitch.
And from Stitching with the Sisterlies, how many threads do you use on 10 count?
If I'm using DMC, I use 4 strands, and if I'm using Our Phil, I use 6 strands. And so we're going to move on to our next section. And last week, we did a poll. And we voted on if in Mania I was going to stitch Flag of Stars or Glory. But since I love them both, I gave y'all the option to vote on both, and y'all voted both. So I've gone ahead and I'm starting, I picked some Gentle Art thread with Lori when I was in, I'm like not, today I'm not, I'm vertically challenged today. So I'm going ahead and picking some thread. I'm going to put it on my Natural Light that was in my club, and I kind of just have this in here. This is a bag that I got from Goose Denise. And so I'm kind of starting my Mania. And then our poll for this week is, we want you to vote Priscilla and Chelsea from the Real Housewives of Cross Stitch. They have 3 PDF patterns that we sell, and we want you to vote on which one is your favorite. But first, I showed you the first one, which was Hello Spring, a couple weeks ago. This one is Crunch, and this is Priscilla's. Can you zoom in, Lily?
Yeah.
So this one is Crunch, and there's going to be even more. So this is the second in the series. And the third, so this is Priscilla's, finish, stitch, everything. And Cheryl stitched this one. And this is Peep. So this is the third one. So we're gonna have a poll. And the poll is to vote on your favorite, Hello Spring, Crunch, or Peep. And we sell the PDFs at Fat Quarter Shop. So to get to the poll, okay, there's Hello Spring. I'm sorry, I'm like really challenged today on the,
There you go.
sorry. So we're gonna vote, yay! To get to the vote, you hit the little I button in the top right. Can you zoom out?
Yeah. There we go.
Sorry. Yay, so that's gonna be our poll today. It's so cute.
Yes. So make sure if you want to vote for this, you hop on over to our YouTube channel if you're watching on Facebook, and there'll be a little eye icon when you either hover over the video with your mouse or tap on it if you're watching on a phone or tablet. We have gotten feedback that to vote on the poll, you may have to like exit the live chat if you're on a phone. But yeah, and also feel free to comment what you voted for below.
And it's in the top right. So I'm going to show you some things from this week that is a flash sale. So I stitched this last year, not last week. Country Cottage Needleworks. It is called Spring Has Sprung. And I had it framed. I had it framed at my local framer. And the pattern is on flash sale today for 50% off. When I stitched it, I used the called for DMC. So that is one of the flash sales from today. So tomorrow it'll be full price. Today it will be on sale. This is our next one. This is Portobello Studio Linen. 30 count. It's a 27 by 36 inch piece. My notes are over there, sorry. And Lori used this fabric in her Christmas alphabet, and then this is also used in Jack's Tree Farm. So if you're gonna start Jack's Tree Farm, the fabric is on sale today. And we have some new items. And this one is so cute. Okay, so guys, when I bought this, I really just bought it from a newsletter. And I didn't know if it was cute or not, so I only bought like 14. So they might sell out today, but I bought more. Look how cute it is. Okay, Lily's gonna freak out. Look.
I'm excited.
Okay, look. Okay, sorry, I gotta put it on my lap, but look.
Yeah. Oh,
It's so
Oh my gosh.
So what I think I'm going to do, this is going to be part of my organization video, but I think I'm going to, like, if I get all of Classic Colorworks, put it in one of these or something so that all of one brand is in there. And then I just put my floss flowers that I actually use in the bottom, just so you can see kind of how it looks. Isn't it cute? And it's really small. So this is new, and I'm super excited because I like anything like this. I want to send it to Lori to paint. So Lori, ask Mr. Honey if he'll paint it for me. I'll put a little smile for him. Show him my smile so he'll paint it.
Oh.
And then also we made some finishing tape. We when I was using finishing in Jolly July, when we were making all those ornaments, the tape was just so big. It's so wide that I was like, we need some tape that's smaller. So we made this tape. It's called cross stitch finishing tape. It's 3/4 of an inch wide, and it's used when you finish. And we have this. This is brand new. And now I'm going to show you some fun stuff from social media, some of the stuff that you guys have been working on. So this is Priscilla, and that is Ronnie and Piper, and she's also stitching Snow Village. She started on the first row, and so that's her progress, and she is doing that on Santa Sundays, which is her hashtag for stitching on Sundays. This is Fresh Eggs by the Dozen. It is a PDF pattern. No, that is not. Yes, it is. What is that?
Which one?
Yeah, that is. It's a Cherry Hill Stitchery Pdf. And then we've got a Priscilla and Chelsea pattern in the bottom right. And then we've got some other patterns, super cute, Java Girl Stitches. And this is a little farm quilts. She's stitching Snow Village. It looks like she might be in the club. Super cute. And we've got Share the Stitching. Oh, and she did it. It's so cute. And she did the free pattern. I love it. And she did the Harvest House by Little Stitch Girl as part of her Parade of Homes, and that looks super cute. I love that black gingham. And then Polka Dot Stitch, this is Home of the Brave, and that is a little house pattern, and that one comes with the thread. And so it looks like she tea-dyed some fabric. Oh, this is so cute. This is Polka Dot Stitch, and that is one of Priscilla's patterns that she did with Hands-On Design, Kathy Haberman, and she used a 14-count chalkboard and DMC. And then Life's So Crazy, she's just got a haul from Fat Quarter Shop, so that's awesome. Lots of Priscilla patterns, Lori patterns, flash sale patterns, super cute. And then this is 262JAS, and she's got some stitchy mail. Woo-hoo. Super cute. And so I wanted to let you guys know that Nashville Needlework Market is this weekend. Cheryl and Denise will be attending, and we will be loading those patterns on Monday, Tuesday of next week. Next Wednesday's live stream, I will be showing everything new that we bought, and that's going to be super exciting. I did want to let you know that thank you for letting me show this later, because I was this morning at one of my boys' plays, and I'm gonna show you pictures of him. He's so cute. Ooh. So this is little Christopher. That's Kevin. That's Mr. Fat Quarter Shop. And then the next picture is me and Christopher. Aww. Look how tall he is. So he is 9 years old. That boy is big. Aww. He's so cute. That's our little baby. So that's where I was this morning. We would love for you to follow us, like us, subscribe, all of those things. This weekend, if you want to follow Denise, who's going to be social media for Nashville Needlework Market, she will be on Instagram, FQSXStitch. And then at night, she's going to post on FQSXStitch on Facebook. And then, of course, the Flosstube is here. Let me know if you guys have any questions. We have a lot of stuff today, and I just want to give a big shout out to everybody who helps me with this. That would be everybody behind the scenes. That would be Lily, Ashley, Denise. It would be Priscilla and Chelsea, who helped me with all the finishing. It would be Lori doing all this. It would be everybody. Yay. Oh, you gave a confetti cannon. And Cody, who helped me with my little display that y'all can't see.
Yes.
Anybody and everybody, if I didn't say your name, thank you.
Yes. While I wait for questions to roll in, I did have on my notes here that I forgot to put in your notes. Today is actually the anniversary of Fat Quarter Shop Flosstube as a channel on YouTube.
1 year?
1 year today, exactly.
Yay!
Phil
we've
on a
come
Wednesday.
a long way.
Yeah, because last year we started floss tubes on our quilting channel, and then we actually started the floss tube
As a
exactly
separate
today.
channel.
Uh-huh.
So if you want to learn how to quilt, you can go to Fat Quarter Shop and do that. channel.
Yes.
And I do read all of your comments, guys. So thank you for all the nice comments.
Yes. All right, let's see. We have a question from Susan A. She says, thank you for getting back to me that you'll be getting in Secret Santa from Market. Will you also be bringing in a light green fabric to use to stitch it?
Sure, Denise will work on that. She'll add it to her list. I don't know what you're talking about, but sure, yes.
Yes.
I think I do know what you're talking about, but off the top of my head. So guys, have a great weekend. Follow us on all of our social media channels, and we'll see you next week.